But Usman Nurmagomedov, quite a character. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. Too much energy. Always talking like Khabib yesterday. You cannot stay with Usman more than 2 hours. He speak too much. You know, this kid have too much energy. He always like in good mood, and it's good energy for the team. And this kid have good opportunity to be like one of the best in the history. You know, he's really good. Striking, he's really good. Grappling, wrestling, he give me always tough rounds. You know, and I know if these guys gonna still training hard, he's gonna be one of the best.
How do you see him matching up against some of the UFC guys at 155 pounds?
He can beat anybody, everybody, because I know his skills. You know, he's really good. Just he still grew up. You know, he's still young.
Yeah, what, 26, right?
26, 27.
Yeah,
and he still have time to become more strong. You know, but skills he have everything.
I think Usman said he had 2 fights left, for this might be his last fight. We might be seeing a free agent, and we might be saying, welcome to the UFC, Usman Nurmagomedov. Bro, fuck him, bringing him in at 155 pounds. All these dudes are, woo! I don't think I put anybody 155 pounds.
Be careful what you say. Be careful what you say here. Watch your mouth.
He's good, bro. He's crap.
I know he's good.
You put him in 155 pounds, there's going to be people that we thought would be champion that would probably never win it. But that's talk for another conversation.
Usman he's got the look. He's explosive. He has everything. He's more of a stand-up guy, but can wrestle, and he chases the submission.
The biggest thing that Khabib and I have to do is keep him mentally intact. But when we do that, he's just the things he does is just like you can't teach it. You can't teach what he does.
Technically,
you can't teach what he does. He does things that not technically, just his body moves a way that's not technical. It's just like the Matrix type scenario with him. It's amazing.
Are you talking about striking or overall?
Avoidance, overall, everything. This guy is amazing. His physical abilities are incredible. It's crazy. He's the most talented I've ever trained.
Right.
All the way around. Yeah. So I'm not going to all of a sudden change it because you say Umar's to you. Yeah. It's not. I've always said it's Usman, and it's still Usman. He's still the guy.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Whenever Usman Nurmagomedov makes that jump, that transition over to the UFC, he's got a plethora of fun and amazing fights to pick from. I mean, who wouldn't want to see Usman Nurmagomedov versus Max Holloway? Woo! Take my money now. Take Henry's draws now. Pause.
Whoa.
Pause.
With cinnamon sticks.
He's just a different type of athlete, man. Different type of a skill set that he brings over. Obviously, the mentality is always strong. I believe I will say guys from Dagestan, you know, they bring something a little different. The strength that they bring, and it's also that inner strength, that inner belief of just what they are, you know, whatever if you want to call it their connection to God, but their faith, their strength, their inner strength is on just a different level. And seeing him in practice, it's like I didn't know that he wasn't necessarily like a wrestler first, because watching him fight, watching him train, watching him do the stuff that he does, it's like he's doing things that guys do at a very high level of wrestling. The way he puts these combinations together, his flow wrestling, it's on a different level that you really can't teach. So either you have that or you don't. So just what he brings to the table is somebody who's very confident, but he has all the tools. He knows what he has inside of him and what he has to do to go out there and continue to succeed in the sport.
Well, 21-0, 21 wins, 0 losses, 15 stoppages, 8 knockouts, 7 submissions, and never lost. So I was on a 21-fight win streak. I was going to say like a 7-fight win streak. He's on a 21-fight win.
If you can get him, get him.
And if you're him, and I don't want to sit here and shit on the PFL.
Yeah.
But
at that point, you want to be fighting. Like clearly, it's time for a step up in a deeper swimming pool.
So when I look at Usman, I don't think about how good he is there, because I know that his ability and with his skill set, it's going to be very hard for any of those guys to beat him. The only true competition for him is inside the UFC octagon right now. So when you weigh him against those guys, how do you think Usman Nurmagomedov does if he's in the UFC?
The dude's an absolute stud, and I'm always curious to see how these guys do when they do really well in PFL or Bellator or over in Japan, and then we've seen guys come over and do really well, and we've seen guys really struggle. Aaron Pico really struggled. Patchy Mix really struggled. Michael Chandler has really struggled. But like RDR has had a lot of success coming over from one championship. I know he lost his last fight, but he was on a massive win streak against really good competition until then. So yeah, I think now is a good time for the UFC to start investing in these guys from other companies and kind of showing, because it's win-win. You either get a guy that comes in and he's a stud and does well and you're glad to have him, or it just proves that you are the best proving ground out there for mixed martial arts if he doesn't.
I know people within the PFL want him to stick around. From what I understand from his camp, they're very much considering, staying with the PFL with his future and seeing where that can go. I mean, especially because, like Khabib said a couple of things recently about the fact that, it's not a meritocracy in the UFC anymore. They're releasing people coming off wins now. So you can't necessarily just be a winning fighter. You have to be the right type of winning fighter. And you just never know whether the UFC are going to value Usman in the same way that we would.
We'll see, brother, we'll see how they're gonna be interesting me. Because in PFL I have everything is good, I'm the champion, and there is have a lot of contenders. You can grow there. Like look, last my 2 fights, I think, my opinion, I grow because of I was fight with Beast. It was Paul Hughes. He make me grow. For sure, he grow too. And like PFL is good. You can make history here too. Just the questions, what are they gonna be? Give me, how we gonna be spoke.
And Usman is just, pound for pound #1 in PFL, one of the best lightweights in the world. I do wonder how he would do in the UFC. I think he would do much better than Patchy Mix. Is he the best of the best at 155 in the UFC? Maybe top 5. If you're wondering about his future, he has 1 fight left, I'm told. He has 1 fight left, or end of 26. Meaning if he doesn't get that 1 fight in by the end of 2026, he's a free agent. And it doesn't matter, I'm told, if he's champion or not. There's no championship clause or anything like that. I would imagine they're going to want to try to re-sign him. But as we've talked about, now that Islam has moved up to 170, you would think, all right, the coast is clear at 155. Does he want to follow in the footsteps of his mentors and family members, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Islam Makhachev? There's no one there at 155 for him to compete with. It would make sense.
Okay, so I honestly believe, look, Islam going up to 70. You have Ilia there, Arman there, Charles probably another year and a half, whatever it is. You've got Max probably another year and a half, 2 years. And then, you have some younger guys that are there. I don't know the rest of them. They haven't made their way up just yet. But to add in somebody who's 21-0 at this time, I think what we needed is a shot in the arm for this weight class. Very much how they inserted Chandler, it kind of amped up the weight class for a little bit. People talking shit, oh, you're low level, you're this, you're that, all that stuff. And then they were right. And then that's I think what you're gonna have to see is you have to see what he brings to this division. What do you think?
I think he have just 1 fight. I don't see some other contender in his division in Bellator. It's a good time to jump to the UFC. He need couple years to come to be contender, and that moment we can change the champion.
He's a tremendous fighter, and every time you get guys like that, Chael, and they're outside of the UFC, we remember Ben Askren when he was the ONE FC champion and Bellator champion. Remember Michael Chandler when he was the champion there. Remember so many great guys when they're in other organizations. How will they do? Goes all the way back to us in Strikeforce, right? Barnett, me, Rhonda, Nate, everybody, Diaz. How do they do when they come to the UFC? I believe that is the biggest tip of the cap that you can receive being an outsider from the UFC organization. Because I remember the moment people started going, I wonder how this kid would do if he got to the UFC, I started thinking to myself, well, I must be really good, right? Because I know the highest level of fighting happens inside that octagon.
I think he is very underrated. I think he is incredible. He's a much better striker than most of the Dagestan guys that come from Khabib's camp. I think he showed that against Davis as well. Davis is an accomplished kickboxer his whole life, and I don't think Usman looked out of place striking with him at all. I think that's the story with Usman, right? Like, he's very different from the rest of them because he was a striker before he went to train in MMA, and he's developed a stellar wrestling skill set from there. It's a situation that I find a lot of PFL guys are in. A lot of people just watch the UFC. That is the sport for people. And I think, obviously, UFC has got the best fighters in the world. I do think Paul Hughes and Usman would be ranked fighters in the UFC immediately. I think they could prove their worth there. I think he could shock a lot of people if he went in there.
It deserves to be said, on the one hand, Usman Nurmagomedov, very accomplished and still very young. There's an argument to be made, just even mathematically, but you know, depending on where you want to consider it. But you could even say he hasn't entered his physical prime yet, and look at how good he is. So I think that the upside, as good as he already is, the upside is even higher. I think he is certainly top 5 in the world. Maybe even one could consider 3, although I think that's a little harder to make. I definitely don't consider him 1 or 2. I think those two guys, Tsarukyan and Topuria, are head and shoulders above him, at least as it stands today. But in 3 years' time, when he's 30, this might be a very different conversation.
The undefeated record means something to me. The ability to be in the 5-round club, to go 5 rounds. I would have him right there in the top 5. In fact, I like that match probably the most of all when he threw out Max Holloway. And I will give you a fun fact. Usman does have 1 loss. His one time in the octagon, it was to Elliott and the security team, and it was the last time he went to a UFC event. Something happened, and I watched him get escorted out. World's nicest guy to be thrown out of a show, but he did something. I can't remember what it was, and they got him out of there.